Good morning, everybody. My name is Imre Balaiti, and I work as a mechanical development engineer for the Hungarian boiler manufacturing company called Lassva in the town of Szolnok in Hungary. As a mechanical engineer, I usually design main parts of boilers and other such things. Actually, last week I got rather interesting task when I needed to design a so-called transition piece or transition duct, and I got this uh, small like task last week's Thursday, and I needed to understand the methodology of the design of the development of this main part. As these mm, these so-called transition ducts usually look like this, they have a rectangular base, and they are mostly transformed into a so-called round shape with in the most cases there's a round flange on them. In this case, on this small sketch, you see the most common case of such main parts as for transition ducts. As you can see, this part has a rather high construction, and uh, and it is also has a very wide base. But in my case, I needed to design this construction because actually this small transition piece will be placed between the boiler between a 2 tons per hour boiler's flue gas chamber and an economiser. That's and of course the place between them is rather narrow, and so that's why I needed to flatten the construction of the transition piece. As you can see, there are red lines from each corner of this transition piece. These show the tracks of bendings for for the usage of the press brake machines, uh, because we need to apply the press brake for manufacturing this small main part. Before beginning drawing by hand this main part, I tried to use the AutoCAD software with some kind of methodology from the internet that can be found through the net, and I decided to create a model by hand, and in order to make it understand for myself much better than than in other ways. So I drew by hand and with the usage of a ruler the basement of of this transition piece, and in the middle I placed the final place of the circular flange, and with the final diameter of it. And after this, I I divided the circle in 12 equal parts using a compass, and and I used It's always the same diameter for drawing the 12 equal parts. And as you can see, I placed, I have numbered all of the 12 points of the flange of these equally placed points of this flange. And of course, I marked with A, B, C, and D the four corners of the rectangular base. And by the help of projection lines, I drawed the um, uh, the side view of this transition piece, and as you can see, it is rather a short construction, and that's why the development on or drawing will be rather difficult. And as you can see on the basis drawing, I uh, connected with all of the corners, all of the points of the flange. And for making the pattern to be cut via the plasma cutting machine, I needed to create this diagram for measuring the lengths of these lines. Of these lines, for example, A1, B1, A12, B2, B3, A11, etc. I measured the distances of, of these lines or the lengths of these lines using a compass, and I drew on the horizontal line of the diagram a small arc, and from the arc I measured the distance of mm, of the real line of to be bended on the vertical line, and after it I created line A and B. I measured line A and B, and from A1 and B1 I drawed arcs which luckily met each other in a point, and I've got this first triangle to be drawn and to be bended from the plate, the pattern plate, with the press brake machine. And after drawing the first triangle, I um, needed to continue with A11 and B9. And as you can see, I'm sorry, it's A12 and B2. Uh, and I needed to draw uh, arcs for A2 and for A12 and B2 from B points. And after it, I measured the distance of the two equal points of the round shape with a compass, and I me- uh, drew, drew an arc from A1 and B1 point, and after this I've got two more points for for the bending, and I repeated this process with all of the points of the basis drawing actually, and I measured the lines A AD AD, this is AD, and BC, this is BC on the line, and I got this almost a batwing like pattern to be created via um, on the plasma cutting machine, and with some engraving of the bending lines for the operator of the press brake machine, and hopefully and after creating this small pattern, I made a cutting of it, and this is a model for the transit for this unique transition piece, and as you can see, it is uh, rather short because it is needed to be placed on between the economizer and the smoke chamber of the boiler, and that's why I needed to apply a very short short haze for it, which is less than 10 centimeters. And I needed to have place for the flange itself at least 50 millimeters, and that's why it was that's why it had um, a rather big challenge for drawing this pattern. But I think it will be very useful for creating the model for the computer for the AutoCAD model. It will be very useful, and hopefully this video will help you in such cases, and thank you very much for watching.